Okay, so we had a problem with our HST 125 Virgin Lady in red. Can you see that? So, taking it apart, and upon doing some basic servicing of the motors, I've checked the pickup end, which is actually at the opposite end of the drive motor. And what I found is we've got a couple of problems here. We've got one of the negative wires has come adrift here. Bring it up to the camera. That negative wire there should be connected onto where that black wire is on there. So I'm going to solder that, and then that should fix that problem. It will fix that problem. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Just tin the end just to get the solder working. Just going to put some close-up glasses on. It's quite fiddly, this sort of thing. It's the sort of thing that I don't really like to have to do. Okay, not having a lot of luck with this at the moment. The solder's quite old. Okay, well that is soldered. It's quite a good sizable amount of solder on it. Hopefully won't be any dry joints, so we'll cut this video and go to the next stage of reassembling the contacts. There's 4 contacts that go on each inner side of the bogie wheels on the bobo section of the bogie here. These pick up the current from little dimples that are on the end of each of these sprung contact clips here. Those have to sit on the insides of the wheels. If my fingers were the wheels, they'll sit on the inside edge. This was the first problem I noticed when I took the assembly apart, is that those spring clips had jumped onto the wrong side of the wheels on one side, and that's why we were getting arcing, sparking, and hardly any movement on the loco. Okay, so to reassemble this, I've cleaned the wheels. There was quite a lot of carbon build-up around the actual metal tyre, and I've also cleaned the inner flange, because that's where these contacts push in. They squeeze left and right in here. So that's what we need to get. I've done it on both sets. So now we've got to try and... It's a really bad piece of design here from Hornby. They rely on this plastic saddle which carries these connection commutator clips here. There's 2 little arrow-headed clips that come down over this metal piece of assembly here, and this part here has to clip into there on both sides. When I tested it earlier, it really wasn't fitting in very well at all. So in all honesty, I'm not expecting a great result from this, and I'm going to try fitting this first and then fitting the bogie assembly afterwards. So that just slides over there and they just snap into position there. It's not a very positive fit at all, and I'm really not confident that this is going to do the trick. We then have the wheels that will come in, so I'm going to squeeze the contacts into position and drop a wheel in each position. It's a very, very fiddly job, this. Squeeze the contacts. I've put that in, but already I can see the first one I've put in, the contacts have decided to jump out, so really not having much luck here. Don't know if you can see, but the contact has jumped on the outside of the flange, and that's the problem we had in the first place. So I'm trying to get this to do what I need it to do, and that is for it to sit on the inside. All it wants to do is keep jumping back out. I don't think I'm going to be able to make this work the way it should work. I think we've got ourselves a problem here with a design fault. Because no matter how hard I try to persuade these contacts to stay in place. Gravity and everything else is fighting me, and it just wants to jump out again. I don't know if I'm going to succeed with this at all. No, straight away it's jumped out. Every time. Every single time. Okay, I've got it in, but I'm not confident this is going to stay in. This piece here, it's hard to orientate it. I believe it went that way. But we shall see, because that seems to be a larger end to the block at this end. Trying to fit this in now. Straight away the contact's out again. So I'm really fighting a losing battle here. It's not actually going to work what I'm trying to do. It really isn't going to work. So at the moment we have an unsuccessful repair. Okay. We have this in situ at long last. As you can see, it's in, but I'm not convinced it's going to stay in. I may have to consider bonding super glue to the saddle to hold the saddle down, because the saddle is hardly held in. It's just a couple of really weak plastic clips that are not really doing their job. This whole design where the motor drive just sits in this cradle here of two spring arrow plastic lugs there, same at the back with the pickup. It's just a really shoddy design by Hornby. I can't believe, with the amount of money they charge for these, I mean, this is fundamentally built like a toy. It is really cheap, really nasty. I mean, look at this wiring. I mean, come on, Hornby. You can do better than that. Anyone can do better than that. You could buy a really cheap Chinese rip-off type model and it will probably be constructed better than this. Hornby, an English company, are happy to let that go out their factory doors like that. Shocking. I've had Hornby ever since I was a child, back in the 70s. Unbelievable. Right, I'm going to move on to the next part of the video of just assembling the body now. Just trying to orient the correct end. It's got to be this end. Right. This fits into here. Keep the wiring out of the way. That'll tuck down into there. To flex the body in order to allow the thing to get on there. I know there's going to be people screaming at this video saying I'm doing it wrong, but I've never touched one of these before, as you can tell. So I'm just trying to find how to flex this on. Again, really, I think Hornby could have done this so much better to get this to go on. So that's going to end up there. So get that right under there. Okay, it's gradually heading in the right direction, lining up the lugs as we go along, and then the back one just pops in. So let's just hope that that will go in. I'm not a fan of push fit type ways of assembling things. What happened to good old fashioned screws? Okay, seems to be reassembled. Looks okay. Hard to see if the drive is the correct way round. That'll be something I can check. If it is wrong, it's relatively easy to just squeeze the two lugs and flip it around. At the moment, that's where we're at. Let's go and see if the thing works. I should have really tested it before putting the body on, but hey ho. Okay. So as we said, we've got the pickups and we've got the motor. So the pickups will be from the front. So straight away you can see the rear wheels are driving. Actually, they're driving really heck of a lot faster than they ever would do before. So I'm going to go and get it up on the track and make sure it is running actually correct. So there you go.